Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of A Gardener's Journey Homestead. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm Barbara. I am in Zone 7A in the great state of Tennessee. So today I'm excited because it's a harvesting day. So anytime it's a harvest day, you know, as a gardener, we get excited. And today is all about my onions. And I'm super excited, even more so than I normally would be, is because I really thought that my onions weren't going to make it. I did a video probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago now, and I asked, like, what has happened to my onions, because my onions were not bulbing up. They were looking pretty pitiful. And literally within 2 to 3 weeks, they have turned the corner. They are ready to harvest, and I am glad about it. And it just goes to show you that as a gardener, you have these, I call them moments, right? You are always, I don't know, let me speak for myself. For me as a gardener, this is my third summer. What, is it for my fourth summer? Third year, something like that. Third year gardening. And I don't know, maybe this is just me, but when I start a new season, I am like wondering, are the seeds going to germinate? Am I going to be able to grow any food? Like, is anything going to grow? Even though I may have done it successfully the season before, the year before. Are y'all like that? Like, at every moment, I'm like, do I really know how to grow food? Like, is this going to work? And it's worked before. So with my onions in particular, I haven't had the best success, at least I didn't last year, with my yellow onions. And that's what I was really hoping for. Last year, I bought yellow onions and I put them in my tunnel in a raised bed. They did not do anything. It was like, I don't know, this big around, just trash, just like nothing. I had maybe a few that I could chop up and use like in one sitting. Like, it was nothing to store, nothing that lasted more than a week or so. Like, it was just very minimal. But my red onions did really well. And I did my red onions in the back of my house where I am now in a raised bed, and they did excellent. But for me, I use yellow onions, I don't know, 10 times more than I use red onions. Usually I'm using red onions for like salsa, you know, maybe on a burger or something like that. I don't use them as a staple like every day, every week, like I would a yellow onion. Now, I have found, because I had so many red onions, that you can use them in the place of a yellow onion, but it's not my preference. So this year when I planted, I wanted to make sure that I had yellow onions. So the variety that I grew are candy onions, and I got all of my onions from Dixondale Farms. And I planted, let me see, 3 beds of onions. So I have 2 beds of yellow onions, and then I have a bed of red onions, and then I have a row of like leeks. But all of them came from Dixondale Farms. I've had great success again with the red onions last year, and so I ordered from them again. And y'all, I've already pulled 2 onions early in the week because I just had to, I'm like, it looks like it's, I mean, you know, you can tell because the onions start rising up above the ground, and you can see they've bulbed up, and, you know, we're on our way. So I've already pulled 2. They're a nice size. They're in the garage curing. And so I'm going to work and pull this other bed and see what we have. But they're definitely ready. Let me turn the camera around and show you how they're looking. So you can see here, you can see them above the ground. And this particular bed is the bed that I planted first. And this is like, it's been 90 days already. We're a little past 90 days, and most candy varieties mature in 80 to 85 days. So we're well within the time frame. You can see that we do have some browning at some of the tops, and they are starting to like lean down and fall over, and you can see them sitting on top of the ground. So they are ready to go. So I'm excited because onions is one of those staples for me. I use onions every single week. Onions and garlic. I mean, like, who cooking something without onions and garlic, right? Unless you're allergic, unless you just don't like it. So I use onions all the time. So it is like a staple. So if I can grow my own onions and not have to buy them at the grocery store, then that is a win. And then last year, since my onions didn't do well, I bought a lot of mine over the year from Azure Standard, and theirs were great quality. But wherever we can save some money, we want to do that. So let's get to this first bed and let's see how many onions we have. Okay, y'all, that is the finished product. So let me try to get you a little closer. I would say on average, they're an average size. I did have some big ones, and I had several that were on the smaller side. Let me see if I can show you. So this is probably one of my bigger ones there. You can see that. That's a nice size onion. And then this is probably, you know, on the smaller side. So I definitely had more of the smaller side than I did the bigger side. But y'all, I'm excited. I am happy. I am not complaining. Y'all, I'm excited about my onions. They are not the biggest overall. I do have some big ones in there, but I have several that are on, I would say, the average size. You know, you would find some of them in the store, but y'all, I'm not complaining at all, because when this one bed, one side of this one bed, 1/4 of this one bed is more than what I had last year. That's why I say, y'all, it's a journey. When you grow something and it doesn't work, I know it can go to your heart. I know you're like questioning yourself about, what did I do wrong? Maybe I shouldn't do this again. Do it again and again. Y'all, I have tried onions. This is my 3rd time trying onions. I tried them from seed. That didn't even do anything. It didn't even germinate. I have tried it from bulbs. And I only got like scallions. Then I tried it from, you know, last year in the tunnel. But y'all, this year I have onions, right? So if I hadn't tried again, I wouldn't have onions in this one bed. So this is my encouragement to you. If something doesn't go right, don't say that you don't have a green thumb. You do. You can, and you will if you keep trying, okay? So I'm excited about that one bed. So let's go check the other bed. The other bed is, their 90-day mark is in about 3 days. Let's go check and see if we can go ahead and pull some more onions over there too. This is the second bed, and I planted this about 3 or 4 days later than the first bed. The first 2 rows on the right are leeks. I pulled a leek and they're not ready yet, which leeks can take up to 100 to 120 days depending on the variety. So I'm going to let the leeks stay in here a little bit longer, maybe towards the end of the month. But let's go ahead and pull our onions and see what we have. And y'all, these weeds then came back. Remember, I weeded this bed a few weeks ago and they have come back. But let's see what we have. Okay, you can see a close-up shot. That's 2 rows of onions, and I would say it's the same situation. I had a handful of big ones, and the rest of them were like just that other size that I showed you, a little bit on the smaller side. And so this bed has so much more weeds in it than the other one. I don't know if the weeds choked it out, or if they were just too close together, or, you know, if they would have got bigger if I would just a little stay about a week longer. I'm not sure. But again, y'all, I'm happy. I can chop these. I can freeze them. I can use them fresh. And I'm thinking what I'll do is that I will, the smaller ones I'll use first, obviously, and I'll use those, you know, fresh, or either put them in my, my food processor, and chop them up, and then just put them in my freezer as chopped onions, and I can pull out when I need. I think that's what I'm going to probably do. And then the big ones I will cure and store them, and that way I can just pull them out of my root cellar when I need them. I didn't count my onions, so I do need to make a count of how many I have, and then I'm going to take you over here and show you the red onions as well. But I'm excited, I'm pleased, and again, because last year was nothing on the candy side. I mean, I had to go back in. I don't know if I put it on video. I think I did. It was nothing, y'all. Nothing to store. I think I used them all up. And I think if I remember correctly, I had a bad Yukon Gold potato harvest. Like, it was just enough, and I had just enough onions. And I want to say that I used those potatoes and those onions and made potato salad for the 4th of July. The potato salad was the bomb. But I think after that, I made like maybe a big bowl for 4th of July. And both products, they were done. So I got something, and anytime you can get something that you don't have to pay for, hey, it's a win. But I'm so excited that I have way more this year. And so I'm encouraged that I can grow onions, and hopefully next year will be even better. So let's go over here and see what the red onions are looking like. I'm tempted to just go ahead and pull those too. I planted those probably about a week after the second row. Let's go take a look at them. Y'all, you can hardly see for all these doggone weeds. I hate the weeds. but hopefully you can see that one there. Okay, it's right on the top. So yeah, it came right up. Okay, and the onions came up really easily. So these are the 2 red onions. Again, on the small to average side, but so I think I'm gonna leave the red onions in here another week or so and see if they'll get bigger. It'll be an experiment for me, because they are leaning over. They have the brown tops and they're falling over, so it almost looks like they're ready. So I wonder, are they gonna get any bigger? So I'm gonna test it and see, because I don't know. And you guys can tell me down in the comments, like once they start bending over, will they grow anymore? But if they don't grow anymore and I just get this, I'm okay with that. This one's a little bit smaller than that one, so I'll take these 2 and count it a win. So y'all, now you know, with emptying beds and harvesting, that means we have beds to plant in. That's what that means, right? So that means when you harvest, you can plant, because what we're doing, succession planting, right? And so I've already kind of mapped out what's going to go back here in these beds. So I have 1 open, 2 open, 3 open now. So I have leeks, 2 rows of leeks in that bed that's going to hang out for a while. And then I have the bed of red onions that hadn't pulled yet. But I got 3 beds I can go ahead and plant in. So we're going to get our tomatoes in one of these beds. And then remember, we started some green beans. No, we didn't. We started some cucumbers to go back here in one of these beds. And then we are going to put green beans in one of these beds. So now that I kind of have the time, and I kind of planned for mid-June. So y'all, we are right on track. We are right on track. It's almost mid-June. So we're right on track with our succession planting and the stuff that we already, like our tomatoes are already ready to kind of go in the ground if we want them to. The cucumbers I have started. So, and then the green beans, I'll probably wait and do the green beans last, just because we got time and I can get another succession of those. So anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me today on my harvesting day, harvesting my onions. And it just goes to show you, y'all, sometimes the first time you plant, the second, the third, it don't turn out right. Keep on doing it, especially if it's something that you use and that you like, right? So like for me, there's some stuff that I've tried that I'm like, I don't know if I could grow that. You know, it didn't go well. I may or may not do it again. But it's stuff that I was just trying to see if I could, right? But it's not something that I use on a regular basis. But onions, we're going to get these onions down because we use these all the time. So I was determined to learn how to grow onions. And so I'm grateful that we have onions. Thank you guys for joining me today. I appreciate you, each and every one of you, your likes, your comments, your emails. You don't know how much it means to me that you take time out of your day to spend time with me. Remember, this is a journey. If you like what you're seeing on my channel, please subscribe so we can grow together. I'll see you next time, friend.